right. I'm Liz, and I'm going to be interviewing my grandma and grandpa. I call my grandpa Opa.
Okay, and that's me. Hi. I'm Opa. My real name is Reinhard Elias, which is very difficult for most Americans to pronounce, so they call me Ryan for short.
And then this is my Oma.
Hi, I'm Mary Fischel Elias, and I'm from Wisconsin.
There you go.
Where are you from, Opa?
Okay, I grew up in Holland, Europe, and spent my youth there. And as I told you guys before, in Holland, we had after the war, we had a military service that we had to go to. And so I joined the Dutch Air Force, had a pilot training in Canada, and spent a couple of years in North America and Canada. And when we came home, I got out of the Air Force, and but I wanted to go back to North America. And in those days, that was part of the Korean War. The Korean War was starting, and all my uncles and family members said that it would be wise to go back to North America if you had a chance. And so my dad worked for General Motors at the time, and through him I was able to get to the United States, back to the United States, and studied at Flint through General Motors Institute. And that's where I met your Oma. And there comes Oma.
So, Oma, where did our family come from, and how did you know? How do you know?
Oh, well, from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. My two grandparents and all my aunts and uncles live there. And I was born there, and I grew up in Manitowoc. Then I went to college in Boulder, Colorado, the University of Colorado. And then I went to the University of Wisconsin. And I graduated from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oh, do you want me to say more?
I mean, do you know the long time far away past of where our family comes from on your side?
They come from Germany,
France.
and France, and
You can.
pardon?
Yeah, go ahead.
And in England and Ireland.
Oh.
All of them. Well, your mom came from Canada. Too.
Yes, and she was a Canadian citizen.
What about your family?
Well, we grew up. Well, the whole family grew up in Europe. My mom was Swedish, so her family came from Sweden, Stockholm, and Malmö, in the southern part of Sweden. And my dad, that was all from Holland, and he was born in Zaandam, which is just outside of Amsterdam, and Holland is very small, so you go from one place to the next in just a few minutes. Anyway, Zaandam, and his mom was born in just outside of The Hague, and my Opa was born in Amsterdam, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, the family goes back a couple of 100 years, and we do have a genealogy type of chart, family tree chart, and that goes back to 1700s something. And in Europe, there's usually one member of the family who likes that type of stuff, and so we were lucky enough we had a couple of family members who put that chart together, because that's quite a job.
Oh, and I want to add, Brian comes from royalty,
Mm-hmm.
He has not only a family crest, but he was knighted by the Prince of Holland, and I was there to see it.
That's cool.
And so he has what do they call it?
The title of Jonkheer.
Yeah, and he has a title. And then we all wear these rings,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
with
want to go hold it up to the camera?
With the family crest.
with the family crest.
Yeah.
Or right down there is the family crest.
Oh.
Yeah. And the family crest, you will see there are 5. The crown has 5. Has 5 tips, if you will. Yeah. By the way, that was embroidered by my grandmother a long time ago. Anyway, the crown shows 5, and that's the level of the different titles that you could get. Like Baron has 7, Duke has 9. You know, so you go up the ladder. The lowest one is 5. That's Jonkheer. That's at least in Holland. This designates the family. This is the family. One of the names way back is Van den Distelborg, and distel is the same as a thistle in English, and so this represents that part of that family. This part represents husband and wife, and then the offspring, the 3 different rings. And there is a picture of this is in the one of the churches in Amsterdam, because one of the forefathers was mayor of Amsterdam. Those days they had 7 different mayors, and he was one of them. As a result of that, that was put in the church in Amsterdam.
Okay, now
Okay.
I'll tell you a little about my family. I come from Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and my grandfather came from Canada, and he was in charge of making submarines during World War II. And Manitowoc made the submarines, and they launched them right in Lake Michigan. And on the other side, my grandfather came from Germany, and he started his own business of delivering milk. But not only did he deliver milk, he made ice cream, popsicles, chocolate milk, all these things. So I was very lucky.
And was that Fischl's?
That was Fischl's.
And so
Visionary.
when we go and visit my Oma and Opa, we can go and see the old building where it used to be, and they have
Yes.
a million bottles from that. It was really cool. I like seeing all the bottles. And we have, at our house, we have some metal bowls that they used for the ice cream when they served it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a lot of those. You have anything else to add about family past?
No, well, that was, I always felt I was very lucky because I could go and have as much ice cream and cheese and chocolate milk as I wanted to.
So neat. Okay. Kind of already discussed this, but not really. How many generations can you trace back from your parents? Can you recall names, places of birth, birthdays?
Well, I would have to go back to that genealogy chart, the family tree, but that goes back many, many generations.
Doesn't it go back to Napoleon?
Well,
to Napoleon
kind
when
of, yeah, 17th century.
yeah.
But yeah, and that was kind of interesting. But
And I think
You're-
what's kind of neat is that we had their names were tell what our name should really be,
Van den Distelburg.
von Distelberg. And one of the relatives, whose name was Elias von Distelberg, put his name in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And so from then on, we had to go by Elias.
Wow.
I think that's
cool.
really interesting.
And I was very happy, Bill, because can you imagine coming here to the United States and have to explain Van den Distelburg? People would go nuts trying to figure that one out.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Imagine that as a middle name for my mom.
Yes, I know. That would have been wild.
Yeah.
So do you have any the generations can you trace back?
I can trace. I can't trace them as far back as Opa can, but I can trace them back pretty far. And your mother has the book about that.
Mm-hmm.
She has it at home on how far.
Yeah.
We have a little book, and I put it all in there. And what's really kind of neat about our family is that looking over our family tree, a Irish Campbell, last name Campbell, married a Scotch Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So they were married, and their last names were Campbell.
Both of them.
Dutch, and I'm not Dutch, but Irish and
Scott.
Scotch.
All right. Do we have any veterans in our family?
Well, Opa
No, I was in the Dutch Air Force.
was in the
and,
Dutch Air Force.
I had one uncle who was in the First World War, nobody in the Second World War, and cousins who, because of the obligatory service, who joined the Dutch army, but no generals or admirals that he could admire. No,
Mm-mm.
no. And in your family,
No, they're just.
you had an uncle.
Oh yes, who was?
Who was the captain in the Navy.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we're not really a very
military family.
military family.